Hello everyone, welcome to video lectures on system simulation and modeling. Module 3 continued random number generation and random variate generation. The test for random numbers. So the desirable properties of random numbers, we know that one is uniformity and independence. We had already discussed about this. To check on whether these desirable properties, so which have been achieved, a number of tests can be performed. So the test can be placed in two categories according to the properties of interest, that we know that uniformity and independence. So there are two categories, is one is frequency test and other one is autocorrelation test. Frequency test simply use the Kolmogorov-Smirnov or chi-square test to compare the distribution of the set of numbers generated to a uniform distribution. Similarly, autocorrelation test tests the correlation between the numbers and compares the sample correlation to the desired correlation is 0. So in the testing for uniformity, the hypothesis, so we need to follow that H naught, so Ri belongs to that one uniformity or uniform of interval 0 comma 1. Similarly, H1 Ri, which is not belongs to uniformity or uniformly on the interval 0 comma 1. So here we should take only the H naught cases. The null hypothesis H naught we should read as the numbers are distributed uniformly on the interval. So uniformly on the which belongs to the particular interval 0 comma 1. So one more thing here, for each test level of significance alpha must be stated. So that is the significance level, percentage of particular total numbers, we should take it as an alpha value. So the level of alpha probability of rejecting the null hypothesis when there is a null hypothesis is true. So that indicates that alpha is equal to probability P of reject H naught or reject H naught or H naught true. So here the decision maker set the value of alpha for any test. So frequently we can use for alpha values is 0.01 or 0.05. So in both the test, frequency test, either autocorrelation test, we should use 0.01 or 0.05. So depends on the applications what we have to solve or use. So next we will going to discuss first one, the frequency test. So the frequency test, the basic test that should always be performed to validate a new generator in the test uniformity. So two different testing are, one is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test that we are going to take first one. Another one is the chi-square test or chi-square test, or we can call it a x square test also. So both will be belongs to the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Both will be belongs to the frequency test. The first one is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So usually in the short form we can call it as KS test. This is the name of the author. So we need to use the KS test. So this here, So both of these tests measure the degree of the agreement between the distribution of a sample generated random numbers and theoretical uniform distribution. Both tests are based on the always null hypothesis of no significant difference between the sample distribution and theoretical distribution. So now we are going to discuss the first one is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, that is KS test. So this test, there will be a procedure. As per the procedure, so the given number, so we need to test by using KS. So this test compares the continuous CDF, capital F of X, in the uniform distribution with empirical CDF S capital N of X of the sample N observation. We should have a, by definition, capital F of X equal to Ax, where X lies between less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to 0. So here, if the sample from the random generator capital R1, R2, R3, whatever that one, given random numbers, then the empirical or CDF of Sn of X is defined by capital Sn of X, the number of capital R1, this is given random numbers, R1, R2, which are less than or equal to X capital divided by total given number N. So where as the N becomes larger, then Sn of should become better approximation to the our CDF capital F of X, provided that null hypothesis is always true. So now here the empirical distribution step with a jump, we each observed value should be taken into the respective examples. The behavior was also illustrated by the example. The case test is based on the largest absolute deviation between f of x and Sn of x over the range of the random variable. So that is based on the statistic d equal to max of, so that absolute value f of x minus Sn of x. The sampling distribution d is known. It is tabulated as the function capital N. So in the table A8, that table A8 will be available in the textbook, the last pages. For testing against a uniform CDF cumulative density function, the test procedure as follows. First of all, we should rank the data from smallest to largest. So let capital R of I, which denote the I smallest observation, so that R1 similarly less than or equal to R2 less than or equal to dot R less than or equal to Rn. So the first task, our task is assume that the data will be given like this: 0.3, 0.7, and 0.1, and 0.2, and 0.9. So we should rank the data from smallest to the largest, 0.1 to 0.9. So that is our first task in the respective test procedure. So compute distribution d plus. So this should be taken in the form of max I should be lies between less than or equal to n and greater than equal to 1, I by n minus r of I. So that we should find out d plus, and d minus the maximum of, again, I lies between n and again 1, r of I. So here r of I minus I minus 1 by n. Compute distribution, that is d is equal to, so we should take maximum of values from these two calculations with respect to row wise. So that we are going to take, that is our d. So we should next locate the critical value d alpha in the table A8. So that is specified in the level of significance, alpha level 0.05 or 5% given in the, depends upon the sample size. This we should locate in the table A8, alpha values column in the
case table, and the respective data size capital N. So suppose that size is 5 in the fifth row, intersection value need to be taken. So if the sample statistic D, which is greater than the critical value, uh, then the D alpha. So the null hypothesis, we should distribution is rejected. Otherwise, it is not rejected. So if D is less than or D alpha, conclude no difference has been detected between the true distributions of capital R1, R2, R3, and Rn as the uniform distribution.
The second one is chi-square test or chi-square test, or we can call it a square test. The chi-square test use the sample statistic x naught square equal to summation 1 equal to 1 to n small n oi minus ei whole square divided by ei. So where oi is the observed number in the ith classes, ei is expected number in the ith classes, and small n is number of classes. For the uniform distribution ei, the expected number in each class is given by capital EI equal to capital N by small n. For equally spaced classes where n is the total number of observation, it can be shown that a sampling distribution of x naught square is approximately the chi-square distribution with n minus 1 degree of freedom. So here the set of number will be given. Just assume that in the chi-square test 50 numbers or 100 random numbers are given. So first of all we should make the classes. So 100 random numbers is given here. Actually total random number is assumed that capital N 100. So small n is the class, number of classes. So in the 100 number, for example, 0.34, 0.64, 0.70, 0.81. So whatever that number given, so we need to make the equal classes. So class should be equal capital N by small n. For example, that is we will get EI. Capital N is 100, 100 by assume that equal class small n is 10. So then expected value of this statistic is 10. So then how many numbers are repeated in each classes? For example, 0.0012, 0.10, similarly 0.1010111220, similarly 212, 30, 312, 40, depends upon the number of decimal point. So how many numbers are there in that ith classes, that we need to take it as the observed number in the ith class. Then we need to apply the table. So that is called as an interval. You can call it n is the interval. So how many y is repeated? How many y belongs to the particular interval? ei should be the always equal capital N by n. So then we need to do oi minus ei, then whole square, then divided by that one, we will get a 3 something last summation values, that is our x naught square. So that we need to compare degree of the freedom, that value should be compared to the again in the chi-square table from the last page which is given in the textbook. So that there we need to calculate. So this is the n minus 1. For example, small n is 10. 10 minus 1 means ninth row of respective intersection value need to be checked. So significance of alpha is always should be taken 0.05. Told that 0.5001 or always 0.5. So the 5% will be taken. Then again calculation of this one. So if that x naught square is which is greater than that degree of the freedom n minus 1, that is rejected. Others always not rejected cases. This is the chi-square test calculation. But there is a limitations of the chi-square test. So but the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So we have that there are two tests in frequencies. One is KS test, can be applied to the sample size, where the given random numbers are 5, 10, up to less than or equal to 50. We can apply to the KS test. But if there is a large number like 100, 200, 300, or 400, so more than that numbers, so we should use uh, chi-square test is the better in frequency test. So next we are going to discuss autocorrelation test. So now we will continue the test for autocorrelation. The test for autocorrelation are concerned with the independence between numbers in a sequence. So as example, so we should take the certain random numbers. For example, 0.12, 0.01, 0.23, 0.28. So like that. So if there is assume that 30 numbers or 50 numbers or 100 numbers. So we should check that is there any autocorrelation between the respective numbers. So test to be described shortly, which requires the computation of the autocorrelation between every L numbers. So L is also known as the log. Starting with the ith number, so we should consider as the first number is the ith number. The autocorrelation is the row I dot al. So that between the following number would be taken it as so ri comma ri plus l and plus ri plus 2l dot ri plus m plus 1 into l. So where capital M is the largest integer, so it can be taken such that I plus m plus 1 into l, which are less than or equal to capital N, where capital N is the number of variables, the values in the respective sequence. So thus a subsequence of particularly length m plus 2 being tested. So here, so a non-zero autocorrelation implies a lack of independence. So there are two tailed tests should be appropriate. So H naught, so rho I into L equal to 0. H1 is so rho IL not equal to 0. For larger values of so capital M, the distribution of the estimator of P, or we can call it as a rho I into L, which are denoted by, so the rho cap is approximately normal. So if the values of or values are capital Ri, comma Ri plus L, comma Ri plus 2L, so like that dot Ri plus M plus 1 into L are uncorrelated. So then the test is statistic can be performed as follows in the following equations. So that equation is Z naught equal to so rho cap of IL divided by sigma of the rho cap of IL, which is distributed normally with the mean of 0 and variance of 1 under the assumptions of so independence for large M. The formula for the rho cap of IL is slightly different form, and the standard deviation of the estimator, standard deviation of the rho cap I into L, which is given by the name of the their author, that is Smith and Taylor. So according to them as follows, rho cap of IL equal to 1 upon capital M plus 1. So K summation K start with 0 to capital M. So R of I plus K into L into R of I plus K into L 1 plus L. So square bracket. After that, a point
2 pi will be subtracted. So the next is sigma or standard deviation of uh, rho cap IL equal to square root of 13 m plus 7 divided by 12 into m plus 1. So after computing Z naught, so we do not reject the null hypothesis of independence if minus Z alpha by 2 less than or equal to Z naught. So which is always Z naught alpha by 2. So Z naught is lies between plus Z alpha by 2 and minus Z alpha by 2, where alpha is the level of significance. Again, Z alpha by 2 is obtained from the end of this textbook table, that is the A3. So this is about autocorrelation test between the given random number. So now let us discuss random variate generation. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the inverse transform technique and more briefly about the acceptance rejection technique and their special properties. So another technique which are composition method is discussed by author Dave Roy and uh, respective another author Dave Palmer and Law. So all the technique in this chapter assume that the source of uniform, the interval 0, 1 random numbers R1, R2, R and R's readily available. So where each Ri has the PDF f of R of x function 1, where x lies between 0 and 1, 0 otherwise. Similarly, the cumulative density function CDF f of capital R of x 0, where x less than 0, and x where small x lies between 0 and 1, and 1 x should be greater than 1. So this chapter are random numbers, that is capital R. Similarly, R1, R2, R3 are represent random numbers uniformly distributed on the interval 0, 1 and generated by any one of the technique. So that could be taken in the random table, such as table A1. So that is also available in the end of this textbook table. So many algorithms in this chapter have been translated into Visual Basic, that is the application. If we using a tool, or we can do it in the spreadsheet, very simple way, random number tool .xls, or we can get all the random numbers readily available. The site name is www.bcnn.net. So we will get all the details. So now we will discuss first very important technique about this random variate generation is inverse transform technique, ITT. So under this, inverse transform technique can be used to sample from the exponential uniform variable triangular distributions and from also empirical distributions. Additionally, so it is the underlying principle for sampling from a wide variety of discrete distributions. The technique will be explained in detail for the exponential distribution and then apply to the other distributions. Computationally, it is the most straightforward but not always the most efficient technique. So first we should discuss about the exponential distribution. The exponential distribution has the probability function, density function is f of x equal to lambda into e to the power minus lambda x, where x should be greater than equal to 0, x should be less than 0. Then the cumulative distribution function CD of capital F of x equal to minus input to the x integration f of t dt, that equal to 1 minus e to the power minus lambda x, x should be greater than equal to 0, 0, x should be less than 0. So here the parameter lambda can be interpreted as the mean number of
occurrences per unit time. For example, if interval times inter arrival times x1, x2, x3 dot dot dot, so had an exponential distribution with a rate, mean rate lambda, then lambda could be interpreted as the mean number of arrival per unit or the arrival rate. Notice that for I or any I, capital E of I xi should be 1 upon lambda, and also 1 by lambda is the mean inter arrival time. The goal here to develop the procedure of generating x1 x2 with the exponential distribution. The inverse transform technique can be visualized or utilized at least in principle of any distribution, but it is most useful when the CDF, capital F of x, is a form so simple that is inverse. We should denote it as capital F to the power minus 1, that is inverse. So can be computed easily. The notation F inverse denotes the solution to the equation R is equal to F capital F of x for x is doesn't denote the 1 by F. So one step-by-step procedure of inverse transform technique illustrated by the exponential distribution here. So the first step, the first statement will be the inverse transform technique. Another statement belongs to the second step in the same step, second statement, which belongs to the exponential step. So first one, step one, compute the CDF of desired random variable capital X. For the exponential distribution, the CDF of is f of x equal to 1 minus e to the power minus lambda into x, where x should be greater than equal to 0. Now we'll go to the second step in the procedure, ITT, inverse transform technique. Set capital F of x is equal to given random number r on the range of integer x, especially for the exponential distribution. For exponential distribution, it becomes 1 minus e to the power lambda into capital X equal to the given random number r on the range. X should be always positive, greater than or equal to 0, where x is a random variable. So with the exponential distribution in this case, so 1 minus e to the power lambda into x is also a random variable. So we here is called capital R. As we have shown later, capital R has a uniform distribution over the particular interval 0, 1. So the third step, solve the equation capital F equal to R for x in terms of R. For the exponential distribution, the solution procedure we can be taken it as very simple in mathematical. So 1 minus e to the power lambda into x equal to capital R. So take out this 1 minus r this side. E to the power minus x go 1 minus r. So apply the logarithmic ln. So we will just simplify this minus lambda x is equal to ln of 1 minus r. So finally we'll get x is equal to 1 minus 1 upon lambda ln of 1 minus r. So this equation 8.0 is called a random variate generator for the exponential distribution. In general, this equation when we return is a capital X is equal to minus f capital F to the power minus 1, or that is the inverse f inverse. So the generating a sequence of values accomplished by the step number 4. The 4 is generate as needed uniform random number R1, R2, R3 computed as the desired random variate. So x of I is equal to inverse f inverse of Ri. For exponential case, we should take only this much, minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus r, the given by 8.1 equation. Xi is equal to minus 1 upon lambda ln of 1 minus ri. Given ri means given random number should be taken, r1, r2, r3 dot date will be taken, and we should find out xi, x1, x2, x3, x4 will be need to be found out. For I start with 1, 2, 3. So one simplification that is usually employed in equation 2.8.2 is to replace 1 minus r by ri, which yields that xi is equal to minus 1 upon l lambda ln of ri. This is the alternative justified that the fact that both Ri and 1 minus are uniformly distributed on the interval 1. So this is about discussion of the respective inverse transform technique. So next we are going to study one more is the uniform distribution. So uniform distribution, we have consider a random variable here, capital X, that is uniformly distributed on the interval a comma b. A reasonable guess the generating X is given by, so this capital X is equal to a plus b minus a into r. So that is a graphical view of the this is the inverse transform technique. We have taken a small diagram here. What we have taken n1 n2 the values and the respective r1 r 1 minus 1 the kind f of x, that is the value. So now continue this uniform distribution. Recall capital R is always particularly a random number on the integer 0, 1. The PDF of x is given by f of x equal to 1 minus b minus a, where x should be lies between a and b. Should be less than or equal to b and greater than equal to a, 0 otherwise. So this derivation equation has the steps 1, 2, 3 section. Derivation can be taken it as step 1. The CTF is given by capital F of x 0, x should be less than or b, x minus a, b minus a, where x lies between a and b, 1 is x should be greater. Second step, set f of x, that x minus a divided by b minus a capital equal to capital R given random number. Solving x in terms of R yields x is equal to a plus b minus a r, which agrees the equation, our generalized equation, that is x is equal to a plus b minus a r, that is the uniform distribution PDF. So this is about uniform distribution. Next one is Weibull distribution. So the Weibull distribution was introduced in the earlier sections. So now we need to use the whenever the failure of a machine or time to failure of the particular component, we should use that. We know that f of x is equal to beta to the power alpha divided by alpha to the power beta x into beta to x power beta minus 1 e to the power minus x by alpha to the power beta x should be greater than equal to 0 otherwise. So here the where alpha should be greater than and beta also greater than 0, scale and shape of the parameter we had discussed in the model 2s. Okay, the to generate this variable variate, so we should go through these three following steps. The CDF is given by capital F of x equal to 1 minus e to the power minus x minus x by a to the power beta x should be greater than 0. Set f of x equal to 1 minus e to the power minus x to the power a beta equal to r. Solving this equation, x in terms of r yields x equal to a alpha minus ln of 1 minus r to the power 1 by b. So this is the Weibull distribution. Similarly, one more is the triangular distribution. So consider a random variable, capital X has the PDF. F of x, x should be less than or greater than 0 and 1. 2 minus x, so x lies between less than or equal to 2, greater than 1 always, and 0 otherwise. Okay, so we should take it that in the triangular distribution is called next figure. The distribution is called triangular distribution with endpoint 0, 2 and mode at 1. It is the CDF is given f of x equal to 0, where x is less than equal to 0. X square by 2, x should be lies between less than or equal to 1 and greater than 0, and 1 minus 2 minus x square divided by 2, x should be less than or equal to 2, greater than 1, and 1 should be x should be again greater than 2. For x lies between 0, 1 and r should be x square by 2. So this is the actual diagram we had taken endpoint 0, 2 here. We have taken 0, 2 to endpoint we have taken. So that is the triangular distribution, that we have density function for a particular triangular distribution. So when we use that for x should be lies between uh, 1 and 2, less than or equal to 2, greater than 1, equal to 1, r equal to 1 minus 2 to the power minus x whole square divided by 2. So for the solving this equation, use the equation 7. X lies between 0 and 1, that implies, so capital R lies between half and 0, which is the capital X is equal to square root of 2 into R. By equation 8, use the same. X lies between 1 and 2. Again, capital R lies between half and 1, which in the case capital X is equal to minus 2 minus root square root of 2 into 1 minus R. Thus, X is generated by the capital X is equal to square root of 2R, where R is lies between 0 and half. And if capital X is equal to 2 minus square root of 2 into 1 minus R, where R should be again less than or it is equal to half and 1. So this is the shows that the triangular distribution. So now we will move on to the very important steps in that one. So acceptance rejection technique. So the acceptance rejection technique, so we should take it as the suppose that an analyst needed to devise a method for generating random variate capital X uniformly distributed between 1 by 4 and 1. So one way to proceed would be the following these steps. We need to follow these steps. Step 1. So here generate a random number capital R. So any number can be generated. So by using any kind of the technique. So if generated random number should be greater than or equal to 1 by 4, then accept capital X equal to R, then go to the step number 3. So if 2a step num 2b, so if R is less than 1 by 4, reject R and go to step number 1, means we need to go to the step number 1 and generate random further random number. So that should be, suppose that any 2 point precision number, for example 0.25, and if you consider that one, that any number can be generated. So 1 by 4 means 0.25. So it should be greater than 0.25. Below 0.25, then we should go generate another random number. It's a must. Then we should go with again step number 2. So generated number should be always greater than 0.25. This is the example. So assume that 0.25 is 0.25 greater than or equal to or 0.26. So then we go to if another uniform random variate 1 by 4 one is needed, repeat this procedure at the step 1, and if not, we are going to stop. How many numbers is required? So that number need to be taken. So here, each time the step 1 is executed, a new random number R must be generated. Step 2 is an acceptance, step 2b is in the rejection case. To summarize this technique, a random variate R with some distribution, here the uniform distribution on the interval 0, 1 R generated until some conditions R should be greater than 1 by 4 is must be satisfied. So this condition should be taken. When the condition is finally satisfied, the desired random variate X on the interval or uniform on the interval 1 by 4, 1 can be computed. Capital X equal to R. So this procedure shown to be corrected, recognizing that accepted value of capital R is conditioned values, that R itself doesn't have the desired distribution, but R is condition that R should be greater than equal to, it does have the distribution to the particular values. So which takes that 1 by 4. So A should be greater than B and less than or equal to 1, and should be greater than equal to 1 by 4. So this we can take it as the probabilities of that one, that we can take it B minus A 3 by 4. So this is the final desired value of the acceptance rejection technique. The efficiency of
an acceptance rejection technique depends heavily on the being able to minimize the number of rejections. That is our aim. We should always minimize the rejection, accept the number as much as possible in the more time. So in the any kind of the example, we should be taken very carefully while choosing the random number. So this is about acceptance rejection technique. So in that case again, the acceptance rejection technique, the applications is uh, Poisson distribution. A Poisson random variable n capital with mean alpha greater than 0 has the probability mass function PMN. So P of n equal to capital P of n is equal to small n. This formula is e to the power minus alpha and alpha to the power n and by n factorial, where n start with 0, 1, 2, 3. So here, more important, however, the capital N can be interpreted as the number of arrival from a Poisson arrival process is in 1 unit of time. The inter-arrival term A1, A2, an of successive customers are exponentially distributed with the rate alpha, where alpha is the mean number of arrival per unit time. So in addition, an exponential variate can be generated by the equations we used the previous equations. So therefore, the relationship between the Poisson distribution in case of discrete or continuous and the exponential distribution capital N is equal to small n if and only if a1 plus a2 an should be less than or equal to 1. So that should be less than a1 plus an plus an plus 1. So capital N is equal to small n says there were exactly n arrivals during the 1 unit of time, but inequality says that nth arrival occurred before the time 1 while n plus 1 n plus 1 arrival occurred after the time 1. So clearly these two statements are equivalent. Proceed now generating exponential inter arrival unit in some arrival says that n plus 1 occurs after the time 1. Then set capital N is equal to small n. For the efficiency, how we are going to generate. So now the generating the for efficient generation process or the particular step. So we should have the procedure for generating a Poisson random variate capital N, which is given by the following step. The step 1 is told that set small n equal to 0, p equal to 1. Next, generate a random number r of n plus 1 and replace capital probability p by p into r of n plus 1. Step 3, so if p is less than e to the power minus alpha, then accept capital N is equal to small n. Otherwise, reject the current small n. Increase means n plus plus. So increase n by 1 and return to the step number 2. So notice that a completion of step 2, probability capital P is equal to the rightmost expression of the inequality. The basic idea of rejection technique is again exhibited if probability P should be greater than or equal to e to the power minus alpha. In the step 3, then n is rejected, then generation of process must be proceed through the at least one more trial. So how many random numbers will be required on the average to generate one Poisson variate? So if capital N equal to n, then n plus 1 random numbers are always required. So average number is always given by capital E of n plus 1 is equal to alpha plus 1, which is a quite large if mean of mean alpha of the Poisson distribution is large.